Hey everybody, I'm Brian Belansky. I'm the track out announcer for Cal Club, the Sports Car Club of America. We're out here this morning taking a look at what's going to be a brand new racetrack in Southern California. It's going to be kind of hard to see some of it, but use your imagination a bit, and we'll show you a little bit about what's going on here. Here we head down. This is the end of the front straight, and as you're going to see here on the right, it's a right-hander. And then you can see just off to the right of the frame there, you can see pit lane. And it'll come a little closer into view here in just a few seconds. You can see it over there on the right. And then it merges in here with the, right in this area with the traffic into a left-hander. This is not going to be a really quick, this is going to be kind of like a quick right-left complex here as we head into this little short straightaway. This short straightaway, as you can see, is the highway is on the right there. That's the highway that you come into Buttonwillow on the right with the cars there. So this is a short straightaway heading down towards a very, very tight left-hander. And you're going to see it here as we come up. Obviously, because it's still needs some grading and there's no pavement. You can see by my speedometer there, I'm only able to do about 17, 18 miles per hour here. And then I hit a little bump, and you'll see a little jump in the video. I dropped the camera for a second. There's a little break in the video. Okay, so now we're coming up to this left-hander here. It's really tight left-hander. And then once you go through the left-hander here, it is an increasing radius. So it's tighter than a 90, and then it slowly opens up into an increasing radius corner. So here you're hard on the gas coming out of this corner here. Now you will notice here, this is another short straightaway, about the same length as the last straightaway that you saw. And so I mistakenly, it's a little hard to see. You see, I veer off to the left here. I thought that's where the track goes. Well, I was wrong. So it actually stays further to the right. And you'll see another little jump in the video here in just a second where I had to stop and back up and then get back onto the racetrack here. So, but this is paralleling the track here. Another short little straightaway that we get to here. You're going to see the jump in the video here in just a second. And this will be back where I made my way back onto the racetrack. Here comes the jump here. All right, so now I'm back onto the racetrack. This is about a 90-degree right-hand turn, and it takes us onto a pretty decent length straightaway here. Now, what you're going to notice is at the end of this straightaway, now it's early in this process, so I'm not exactly sure how much of the elevation change is going to stay here. I hope it does, because there's some really cool bits of elevation change, but this is the first one coming up. And this is a good length straightaway. You'll be able to probably get up, pretty high into your fifth or sixth gear here as you come down into the corner here. But what you'll notice is going into this left-hander that we've got coming up is a good bit of elevation change. And it'll be also a pretty good spot for a corner station here. You'll see that for the workers. I'm pretty certain they'll probably put a corner station in probably in the center of this left-hander here. Be a good spot for that. You'll see a little bump there. Still some grading that needs to be done. So here's the uphill as we get going into this left-hander. And this is a fairly tight hairpin that you're coming to here. Not quite 180 degrees. I'd say it's probably about 160, maybe 165 degree hairpin. But you're going to be hard on the binders here as you come into this hairpin. And then two really, really cool corner complexes are coming up here. So coming out of this hairpin, there's a really short chute here. And into this short chute is going to be a really big sweeping right-hander, and there at this moment is a significant amount of banking here. Once we get to this corner, I think you'll be able to kind of get a sense of it with my little Honda here. Again, not exactly sure how much of this banking is going to stay. I hope it does, because if it does, this is going to be a really, really fast right-hander. as we come through here. I'm not, I'm going 18 miles per hour, but nonetheless, it's a really fast right-hander here with the banking. Now we get to what may be the second longest straightaway on this racetrack. You can't tell, maybe you can off in the distance. We are heading directly for Phil Hill on the old racetrack. So just to give you an orientation as to where we're going here, this straightaway is straight at Phil Hill. Maybe when we get a little bit closer to the next corner, you'll be able to see some cars there. So we're going to go through this area with straight on here. And then this is going to bring us to what is another really fast left-hander, a big sweeping left-hander here going towards this this corner here. And again, this straightaway at this speed feels like it goes on forever, but it's going to be really fast through here. Now you're getting into the left-hander here. Again, really fast. You can see the cars coming through Phil Hill straight ahead there now. There was a car there, and then this next little straightaway here, and it is going to kind of parallel the original Buttonwillow racetrack. You'll see that there, those cars and off in the distance there for this race weekend that we're out here for. All right, so as we come down now towards this this little short straightaway here after that big sweeping, that's also going to be a really fast right-hander there. This is going to come into a pretty tight left-hander. This is also one of those where it's an increasing radius, so it's real tight off the top, and then it opens up a little bit into basically another, so it's going to be a left-handed sweeper into a right-handed sweeper. And here, I don't know if you can tell it by the video, but there's a tremendous amount of elevation here. So you're going to be coming into this fairly quickly, and this is a decreasing radius right-hander. So as you come up to the top of this apex, you're probably going to start out wide here on the left, and then here you're going to dive in towards your apex down the hill into another very short, pretty short, little straightaway, a little short chute, which is going to bring you onto the main straightaway. Now, off to the right there towards those trees, that's the main entrance of the Buttonwillow racetrack. It's also, you can see off to the right, this is where you're going to pick up pit lane here. And that pit lane will be just, entrance to pit lane will be just as we come into this left-hander here. And this left-hander will be how you get back onto the main straightaway. So that's the cell phone tower straight ahead that you see right at the entrance of Buttonwillow. That's on the right when you come into the track entrance. Now, obviously, it's straight ahead there. So now, I'll show you off to the right there is your pit lane entrance. I was showing that to you there. This is the left-hander that goes onto your main straightaway. This is probably the longest straightaway on the racetrack. It's kind of hard to tell from the drawings, but it's real similar to the length of the other two longer straightaways that I showed you earlier in the video. So you will see this here, also off to the right, which you won't be able to tell from this video, but this whole track is going to have its own entire paddock area. So it'll have the control tower, have room for the cars, and obviously in the trailers and everything. So the paddock area for this track is going to be completely separate from the original Buttonwillow, so they could have two events going on at the same time. So now this is the one thing that was hard to tell from the first part through. This is going to be a pretty fast right-hander as we get to the end of the front straightaway here. And you're going to see a little bump here where the grading has not been taken care of yet. I think that's a crossover now for trucks and stuff. But we're going to come down here to the end of the front straightaway here, and this will be a fairly quick right-hander as we get towards that little tiny chute to the left-hander coming out of the pits. So you can see the pit lane off to the right there, just barely to the right of the screen. As you dip in here to the right here, and you hit your apex, you can really see the pit lane off to the right, and that's going to be how we conclude the video. So I want to say thank you to the good folks out at Buttonwillow for letting me do the track tour here. I'm going to do my best to get out there again sometime this winter once they get a little further along, and hopefully I'll be able to go out and get you an update here between now and our first race in the spring there. So that's it from now. I'm Brian Belansky, your Cal Club track announcer here, and this is a track tour of the new Buttonwillow.